Welcome to the part 2 of the JSON parsing series. In last video, we have successfully created the design of our recycler view adapter, as you can see over there. In this video, we are going to create the API client, API interface, and the adapter of our recycler view. First, we will create the API client over here. Let's right click over here, new, and I will take the Kotlin class file and let name it as API client. Okay, press enter. Now let's create one constant over here to add the base URL of our API constant val base URL. Okay, URL. Let's initialize it. So let's open. So this is our API up to the question mark. Before the question mark, this is our base URL. Let's copy this line, Control C over there, and let's paste it over here, Control V. So this is our base URL. Now create one companion object. Companion object is nothing but is a static block which can be called directly by using the name of the class. Let's create one companion object over here. Companion object I have created. Inside the companion object, let's create one variable of retrofit and let's initialize it to null. Var retrofit, and it will be type of retrofit. I'm initialize it to null. Okay. Now let's create one function. Fun get API client. And it will return retrofit. So the function. Let's return the retrofit over here. Return retrofit. Now inside the main function, let's create one variable val Gson, and I initialize it to Json builder dot create. Now, if the retrofit is null, if retrofit is null is equal to null, come inside the if block. Let's initialize the retrofit. Retrofit is initialized to retrofit dot builder. Let's add the base URL dot base URL and pass the base URL over here. Base URL. Let's pass the base URL over here. Base URL. Now add the converter factory dot add converter factory, scalar converter factory for handling the string responses dot create. Now add the another converter factory dot add converter factory. I'm adding the JSON converter factory dot create, and I will pass the JSON inside it. JSON dot build. Okay, as you can see, I have successfully created the API client over here. Now I will need one API interface. So let's create one API interface over here. Let's create API interface. Right click, new, Kotlin class file, and I am creating the API interface over here. Let's name it as JSON API. Let's create the interface, JSON API. Let's enter. Now I will use the get query for fetching the API records at the rate get. Inside the get, let's copy the line after the question mark here. Let's copy this line, Control C, and come over here, and paste it over here, Control V. Now create one function, fun get course, and it will call of type string, call, side I will pass string. Okay. Now I successfully created the API interface over here. Now I need to create one model class. Okay, for creating the model class, first hit the API. Let's open this and copy the API link, Control C. Now I will come to the Chrome browser. Open the Chrome browser here. And let's paste the API over here, Control V. Now this is our API. Let's copy this, Control C, let's copy this JSON. Let's open another tab and go to JSON to Pojo. JSON to Pojo. Come here and paste the JSON over here. Now from here, select the Gson here. And source type will be JSON. Okay, let's preview it. This is our Pojo class. You can directly copy this class or you can create your own class by any name. Any name you can use. It's depend on you. Now go to the Android Studio and I'm creating one new class over here. New Kotlin class file and I'm naming it as course data model. Let's enter. Let's copy the whole class over here. As you can see, this is the class, and inside it we are having some getter setter over here. So I will copy the whole class over here. Let's copy this class. Control C. Now come to the Android Studio. Let's paste it over here, Control V, and it is asking, do you want to convert it to Kotlin? As we are converting the Java code to Kotlin, the Android Studio will automatically convert the Java code to Kotlin. Press yes. You can change its name, course. Any name you can give, course data model. Okay. Now here I need to create another class of type release data model. As you can see, there is another class of type release. You can see over here. So I need to create another class of release. Let's create another class over here. Create another class, new Kotlin class file, and I'm naming it as release data model. Center, and from here, let's copy this. Control C and come to our Android Studio. Let's paste it over here. Control V. Press yes. release data model. Okay, let's change it over here to remove the error of type release data model. Okay, as you can see, the error has gone. Now we are going to create the adapter of our recycle view. This is our recycle view. We are going to create the adapter of our recycler view. For that, first we will enable the data binding in our build.gradle app. Here, go to the build.gradle module app over here in Android, create build features. Inside it, I'm setting the data binding initialize to true, control S, save it and click the sync now button. Let's wait for the sync. Now I've successfully enabled the data binding. Now go to the main activity. Let's create the instance of binding over here. I'm late initializing late in it, where binding. First go to the activity main XML file over here. Right click over here, show context section and convert to data binding layout. Control S. Now move to the main activity over here and let's initialize it. Late in it, where binding of type activity main binding. Inside the function on create, initialize it. Let's remove this line. Binding initialize to data binding util dot set content view. I am passing this and passing r dot layout dot activity name. Okay. Now move to the adapter over here. Let's convert it to grading layout. So context section, convert to data binding layout. Now inside it, let's take one variable. Variable and the name I am giving it as force, any name you can give, and it will be type of our model class form dot example dot our model class name force data model. Okay, as we are working from binding, let's extract the field of our model class. Here is our model class. This is the field of our model class over here. You can see the first field is series, then character, then game series. Let's come to our design file over here. And the first field is R of image. Okay, let's move to the second field. The second field is our series. Let's set the text over here, dynamically set the text. Text at the rate, name of the variable, force dot amiibo series. Okay, now come to the second field over here. Text I am giving at the rate force dot character. This is the field of our model class, as you can see. Now move to the second field, next field. This is game series. I'm giving it a text ID game series. Text at the rate force dot game series. Okay, let's move below. Its ID is head, and let's name it text at the rate force dot head. The last next one is name text at the rate force dot name. As you can see, the next field is our release. Close this at the rate text force release. Okay. Now we will continue this in our next part. If you like this video, kindly like the channel, like the video, and subscribe my channel. Thank you.